Culture and Anarchy. 1. Culture and Anarchy was a series of blank. A. Lectures. B. Periodical essays. C. Short stories. D. None of the above. 2. Arnold was highly influenced by blank. A. Shakespeare. B. Wordsworth. C. Dickens. D. Thomas A. Kempis. 3. How many chapters are there in Culture and Anarchy? A. 05. B. 04. C. 02. D. 06. 4. What is the complete title of Culture and Anarchy? A. Culture and Anarchy, an essay in political and social criticism. B. Culture and Anarchy, a collection of essays. C. Culture and Anarchy, the Victorian faith. D. Culture and Anarchy, the true meaning of culture. 5. And Anarchy, the Victorian faith. D. Culture and Anarchy, the true meaning of culture. 5. What is the title of first chapter of Culture and Anarchy? A. Hebraism and Hellenism. B. Sweetness and light. C. Aut liberal necessarium. D. Doing as one likes. 6. According to Arnold, who is the ideal man of culture? A. Homer. B. Thomas A. Kempis. C. Wordsworth. D. Euphuasis. 7. According to Arnold, culture is blank. A. The way of living. B. The real meaning of life. C. Civilization. D. Study of perfection. 8. What was the title of Arnold's last lecture as professor of poetry in Oxford? A. Culture and Anarchy. B. Culture and its meaning. C. Culture and its enemies. D. Culture and its friends. 9. Sweetness and light is a phrase taken from Jonathan Swift's book blank. A. Gulliver's Travels. B. Battle of the Books. C. A Tale of a Tub. D. A Modest Proposal. 10. Culture and Anarchy was first published in blank. A. Literary Magazine. B. The Egoist. C. The Cornhill Magazine. D. None of the above. 11. Arnold added preface to Culture and Anarchy and blank. A. 1870. B. 1872. C. 1869. D. 1875. 12. Which term is used by Arnold to describe the working class? A. Barbarian. B. Populace. C. Both A and B. D. Philistine. 13. The lifespan of Arnold is blank. A. 1822–1888. B. 1825–1890. C. 1824–1888. D. 1822–1890. 14. Blank could solve the problems of his age in check. The onslaught of anarchy. A. Civilization. B. Christianity. C. Culture. D. Religion. 15. Hellenism puts stress on blank. A. Knowledge. B. God. C. Faith. D. Culture. 16. Hebraism puts stress on blank. A. Knowledge. B. God. C. Faith. D. Culture. Civilization and its discontents. 1. Freud is the father of blank. A. Psychology. B. Psychoanalysis. C. Both A and B. D. None of the above. 2. Freud was highly critical of blank. A. Shakespeare. B. Wordsworth. C. Milton. D. Dickens. 3. In how many books is Civilization and its discontents divided? A. 04. B. 05. C. 02. D. 08. 4. Freud has give blank _ stages of psychosexual development. A. 05. B. 07. C. 06. D. 08. 5. The blank is not master in his own house. A. ID. B. Ego. C. Superego. D. All the above. 6. Who said that, of all great figures of psychology, perhaps Freud is the most important? A. Mar. Habib. B. Eliot. C. David McClintock. D. Leo Bersani. 7. What does Freud consider to be the most intense sources of unpleasure? A. Our relations to other man. B. To external world. C. Our body. D. All of the above. 8. How the emotions, passions stored in ideas diverted. A. By powerful distractions. B. Substitutive satisfaction. C. Intoxicating substances. D. All of the above. 9. According to Freud, civilization is the root cause of blank. A. Happiness. B. Perfect life. C. Unhappiness. D. Both A and B. 10. Civilization and its discontents was first published in blank. A. 1930. B. 1928. C. 1929. D. 1931. 11. Civilization and its discontents was originally written in blank language. A. French. B. English. C. Hebrew. D. German. 12. Thanatos means blank. A. Eros. B. To live. C. Death principle. D. Civilization. 13. The lifespan of Freud is blank. A. 1856–1939. B. 1856–1940. C. 1858–1942. D. 1858–1835. 14. Blank means the sense of boundlessness and oneness felt between the ego and the outside world. A. Civilization. B. Eros. C. Thanatos. D. Oceanic feeling. 15. ID is blank. A. Preconscious. B. Conscious. C. Unconscious. D. A and B. Culture and society. 1. Is one of the 2 or 3 most complicated words in English language. A. Society. B. Religion. C. Culture. D. Politics. 2. How many words are the key words as given by Raymond Williams? A. 04. B. 05. C. 03. D. 06. 3. Which of the following is not a key word described by Raymond Williams? A. Religion. B. Art. C. Culture. D. Class. 4. Who has used the word industry for the first time? A. Karl Marx. B. Charles Dickens. C. William Blake. D. Adam Smith. 5. Democracy is originally a blank work. A. A Roman. B. A Greek. C. A Spanish. D. An Indian. 6. The development of blank underscore is perhaps the most striking among all the key words. A. Culture. B. Democracy. C. Industry. D. Art. 7. Who wrote The Wealth of Nations? A. Newman. B. Karl Marx. C. Adam Smith. D. Edmund Burke. 8. Raymond Williams was the professor of blank. A. Arts. B. History. C. Economics. D. Drama. 9. What is the name of Part 3 of Culture and Society? A. 20th Century Opinions. B. 19th Century Tradition. C. The Romantic Artist. D. Interregnum. 10. Which poet is mentioned in the Chapter 2 of Part 1? A. Blake. B. Wordsworth. C. Keats. D. All of the above. 11. Who is the main exponent of art for art's sake? A. Oscar Wilde. B. Whistler. C. Keats. D. Walter Pater. 12. Who is the student of Raymond Williams? A. Orwell. B. Lawrence. C. Terry Eagleton. D. None of the above. 13. The lifespan of Raymond Williams is blank. A. 1929–1975. B. 1922–1988. C. 1921–1988. D. 1920–1985. 14. 5 keywords are described in blank. A. Part 1. B. Part 2. C. Contrasts. D. Introduction. 15. Which is popular work /s of Raymond Williams? A. Orwell. B. Drama from Ibsen to Brecht. C. Second Generation. D. All of the above. Helena Six's sorties. 1. Feminist criticism blank. A. Is concerned with the marginalization of women in a patriarchal culture. B. Tries to explain how the subordination of women is reflected in or challenged by literary texts. C. Tries to examine the experiences of women from all races, classes and cultures. D. All of the above. 2. Who said that? I only know that other people call me a feminist whenever I express sentiments that differentiate me from a doormat or prostitute. A. Elaine Showalter. B. Virginia Woolf. C. Rebecca West. D. Simone de Beauvoir. 3. Who wrote The Second Sex? A. Elaine Showalter. B. Virginia Woolf. C. Simone de Beauvoir. D. Rebecca West. 4. Who wrote A Vindication of the Rights of Women? A. Elaine Showalter. B. Virginia Woolf. C. Simone de Beauvoir. D. Mary Wollstonecraft. 5. Who wrote The Sexual Politics? A. Kate Millet. B. Elaine Showalter. C. Virginia Woolf. D. Simone de Beauvoir. 6. Who wrote A Room of One's Own? A. Kate Millet. B. Elaine Showalter. C. Virginia Woolf. D. Simone de Beauvoir. 7. Who has given the 4 models of differences in her book Feminist Criticism in Wilderness? A. Kate Millet. B. Elaine Showalter. C. Virginia Woolf. D. Simone de Beauvoir. 8. Sorties was published in underscore blank. A. 1974. B. 1975. C. 1976. D. 1980. 9. Which is not one of the phases of feminism? A. Feminine. B. Female. C. Feminist. D. Womanism. 10. Sixes starts her essay by blank. A. Activity, passivity. B. Sun, moon. C. Logos, pathos. D. Where is she? 11. Which of the following is not a part of four models of difference? A. Biological. B. Feminism. C. Linguistic. D. Cultural. 12. Sixes was born in blank. A. 1937. B. 1938. C. 1938. D. 1942. 13. In French, sorties means blank. A. Escapes. B. Departures. C. Outcomings. D. All of the above. 14. Write yourself. Your blank must be heard. A. Sound. B. Voice. C. Echo. D. Body. 15. Which is the famous work of Helena Sixus? A. Sorties. B. Nobody's Name. C. The Laugh of Medusa. D. The Dams.